This week, two men arrested accused of running a high-end fencing operation in Manhattan's Diamond District. Plus, a woman is stabbed after taking out the trash. And
You killed an innocent child.
a 9-year-old boy with autism is killed in a shooting. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. For our first story this week, we begin in Brooklyn, where a years-long investigation has led to the takedown of the most ruthless gangs based out of Sheepshead Bay and Coney Island.
More than a dozen accused gang members facing charges in connection with a slew of shootings.
They all took place in South Brooklyn, and as Fox 5's Richard G. Covas shows us, in many cases, innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire.
Gang terror caught on surveillance footage, a barrage of bullets, 40 of them fired on a street corner while an innocent family with a baby walks by and ducks down for their lives. Another man runs through the lobby of a building. Behind him, gunshots are fired. Everyone inside runs and gets down. Then there's another who's staked out inside a sneaker store. There he is, they say. A half hour later, he leaves and gets shot in the middle of a public street in Bay Ridge. Two innocent bystanders are also shot.
Complete mayhem and terror. We refuse to normalize this behavior.
These are just some of the alleged members of the 59 Brims Bloodhound Brims gang. 14 of them, including a 15-year-old, were charged with a 129-count indictment on murder and weapons possession for violent crimes committed throughout the Sheepshead Bay and Coney Island neighborhoods in 2021 and 2022. Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez announcing the charges Wednesday and then reading text messages exchanged between those alleged gang members, describing the disappointment that they didn't shoot and kill their intended target.
They say it's a bad drill, and the person that we allege, Antoine Favorite, says, how was it a bad drill? He's asking, how was it a bad drill? We chased, they shot at their rivals. He says, because nobody got hit.
According to the indictment, the alleged gang members revealed an intent to murder opposing gang members through music videos, recorded jail conversations, cell phone evidence, and Facebook and Instagram posts.
There's a dangerous narrative out there that this kind of criminality has no consequence in New York City. That narrative needs to be rewritten, and today's 129-count indictment is a good start.
Despite that takedown, the Brooklyn DA says that 2024 was the safest year in Brooklyn's history when it comes to gun violence. He credits those takedowns and strategic enforcement from the NYPD. And the commissioner reiterating that these takedowns are far from over and that her officers continue to watch and will find anyone who commits a violent crime.
We now go to the Diamond District in Manhattan, where two men have been arrested in connection with a string of burglaries targeting professional athletes, including NFL quarterback Joe Burrow.
The FBI and NYPD conducting that raid today that led to a number of arrests. Well, authorities are now trying to figure out if today's bust is part of a fencing operation connected to pro athletes whose homes have been robbed in recent months.
And Fox 5's Arthur Sheehan is live in Midtown with more on today's takedown. Arthur, what's the very latest on this?
Bianca, Natasha, this has been attached to one of the cases involving an NFL player, and that would be the star quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrows. Now, going back to last year, if you remember, a number of NFL players, while they've been playing big games on the field that are nationally televised, their homes have been burglarized. And we are learning right now, in terms of where that investigation has gone, that it's come to Midtown Manhattan in New York, in particular the Diamond District here on West 47th Street. Two men have been arrested in an FBI operation. They have been named in federal papers as Dmitry Nijinsky and Juan Villar. They are charged with conspiracy to receive stolen property and accused of purchasing stolen goods that have traveled across state lines. Now, one of the men was arrested here at this building in the heart of the Diamond District, which is a pawn shop, and since then, federal agents have been coming in and out. The two men are accused of essentially being fences, and this is according to the federal indictment against them. They are operating an illegal market selling stolen goods from burglaries committed by South American crews operating here in the U.S., often targeting very affluent families, possibly NFL athletes. One of them is named in the indictment. One of them is implicated in the indictment. This is a case that goes back to at least December 9th for Joe Burrows. That's when his home was burglarized. 4 men were arrested in Ohio in around January 10th and taken into custody. And according to these court papers, there is video evidence and phone evidence connecting one of the individuals who was arrested here in New York with 2 of the people in the alleged ring that burglarized Joe Burrows' home. As for this location here, this is an investigation out of the Eastern District Federal Prosecutor's Office, and they say they've recovered stolen goods here, including watches, purses, a lot of high-end luxury items. The two men, by the way, are expected to have their day in court tomorrow for their arraignment. That'll happen in Brooklyn Federal Court.
Nearby, in Rockefeller Center, a man was stabbed repeatedly on an M subway train, and a person of interest is now in custody.
Police say this time a man was stabbed on the M train at Rockefeller Center.
Okay, let's get right to the scene in Fox 5's Lisa Evers. Lisa, what can you tell us?
Well, Steve and Natasha, we're here at the Rockefeller Center station. As you can see behind me, people are coming in off work, ready to get on the train, but it was a very different scenario this afternoon. Police are telling us that a man was stabbed repeatedly on a southbound M train around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, police were patrolling the station. They did grab the suspect almost immediately. After that, there is a person in custody, we're being told, by the NYPD and under arrest for this. Still not clear what happened, but that man was stabbed repeatedly, rushed to Bellevue Hospital, where he's in stable condition, and we're told he is expected to survive. Now, police are telling us there was some sort of dispute that led up to the stabbing. We're not sure what the nature of that was, whether or not the person who was stabbed knew the guy who is the suspect and now in custody, but there was the man was stabbed repeatedly. There was a dispute. They don't know if it was an attempted robbery. Investigators are still looking into that right now. So that's what we know so far. That was about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and now things are pretty much back to normal here at the station. Police are patrolling the station and on the trains, and that's the latest that we have here from Rockefeller Center Station.
Over in Flushing, Queens, a 65-year-old woman was stabbed multiple times after two intruders broke into her apartment while she was taking out the trash.
A woman in the hospital tonight after being stabbed by two home intruders.
Police say they got inside while she was taking out the trash. Fox 5's Arthur Chian joins us live from the scene in Flushing with the very latest. Arthur?
Steve, Natasha, people here are absolutely stunned, in large part because this wasn't a case where somebody left their home unlocked to go out and do something, then to come home to find somebody inside. The victim here, a 65-year-old woman, simply took a garbage bag to the garbage chute, and when she went back in her apartment, those two intruders were inside, and they would eventually attack her. Police tell us this happened after 5:30 yesterday afternoon. The building is a 7-story residential building here on Roosevelt Avenue off of Parsons Boulevard. Now, they say the victim, as we said, went to the garbage chute, and when she re-entered her apartment, the robbers were inside trying to find valuables. Now, they got away with nothing, but in the process, they stabbed the victim multiple times. The 65-year-old victim had to be rushed to a hospital where we are told she is in stable condition. We spoke with people in her building and in the neighborhood, all of whom say they are stunned because this is entirely out of character for their neighborhood.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, I've lived here all my life. Nothing has ever happened in this area, and for that to occur is crazy.
I never felt danger, but I also have to tell you, I've lived in Chicago, I've lived in Mumbai, I've lived in South Africa. Maybe that's part of you don't get scared.
Again, the victim, a 65-year-old woman, is in stable condition after being stabbed multiple times. Police say at this point they do not believe she knew who those attackers were, those intruders who went into her apartment. No arrests have been made so far, but we checked the building does have surveillance cameras. Hopefully they were working and give the police some leads in this case.
We now leave the city for Newark, New Jersey, where the Essex County prosecutor and Newark Public Safety announced the arrest of a suspect in connection with the fatal shooting of 9-year-old Yassine Morrison. Before the arrest, a community gathered to mourn the young life cut short.
First, the manhunt that is underway after a young boy is shot and killed in Newark, New Jersey. Fox 5's Duarte Geraldino is live in Newark, where he just spoke with the grieving family members. Duarte, what did they tell you?
Everyone is just still in shock. Family members, loved ones, so many neighbors came out tonight to honor that 9-year-old who was gunned down right here in Newark. They mourned him, and they also shouted out his name.
What is his name? What is his name?
Police say Yassine Morrison had just gotten out of a car with his dad and sister near his grandma's home on Osborne Terrace when shots rang out just before 5:30 on Friday evening. His father, he tried to shield the 9-year-old, neighbors say. Now, that 9-year-old is autistic, but they also say several bullets managed to get through and got the child. Neighbors heard 5 or 6 shots. Investigators don't believe Yassine or his family were the targets. The 36-year-old man was also injured. The boy's aunt spoke with us, and she tells us that this boy was autistic, nonverbal, and loved his family. I asked her what she wanted the shooter to know.
You killed an innocent child. My nephew didn't deserve this. By him just going to see his grandmother, he comes here every weekend.
What was happening when he was shot? Did he come to visit? Do we know?
He's coming to visit his grandmother.
Yep.
He comes here every weekend. He's coming to visit his grandmother that lives here.
And finally, we end on Long Island, where Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman has announced a new partnership allowing 10 Nassau County police detectives to work along ICE agents targeting undocumented migrants with criminal records.
And on Long Island today, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman announcing a new partnership between the Nassau County Police and ICE.
All right, Fox 5's Jody Goldberg explains how the two will be working together and the reaction it's getting from the community.
From a detective to a deputized ICE agent, 10 members of the Nassau County Police Department will soon be designated to work alongside U.S. Immigrations and Custom Enforcement agents to target illegal migrants who have committed crimes.
This isn't about raids. This is targeted enforcement of our laws.
The first of its kind program, green-lighted by Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, would give cross-designated detectives the power to enforce immigration law when ICE agents aren't readily available. But Melanie Krebs, Executive Director of Corazon, the largest immigration provider on Long Island, questions legality and logistics.
If you live in Nassau, you want your police here to help protect and defend you. Do you want them wasting time doing something that our federal government should be doing?
Immigration advocates call this partnership a dangerous decision. Many nonprofits have been receiving calls from people who are scared and confused about their status and safety.
Decisions like this literally will make the community hide.
50 cells in the Nassau County Jail will be designated to hold those arrested for up to 72 hours.
ICE will make a determination whether they are going to permanently detain or whether they're going to deport.
The county, for its part, would be reimbursed by the federal government for any expenses.
Blakeman has not proven a friend of immigrants in general, so I would still have concerns what he actually means.
Our detectives are not out looking for illegal migrants.
If we make an arrest and I'm going to let somebody out on an appearance ticket because of no bail at my station house, I will be notifying ICE that this person is here undocumented and that they will be able to come and pick that individual up.
Nassau County hasn't commented on whether any arrests have been made so far.
That's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.